everybody, I'm Casey Hollins. I'm here with Carolyn Cameron, our resident tennis expert, and we're going to do a little rapid fire today on the subject of Rogers Cup.
Nice.
Now, we have a little tidbit about Carolyn is that she used to be a ball girl at the Rogers Cup, which is a very coveted position, right?
It's true. Oh, I loved it. Yeah, there's not many. There's about 70 kids between the ages of 12 to 19, and I was forced into retirement at the age of 19. I still haven't gotten over it.
So you have to try out for that, right?
Yeah, and actually we had Ivanka Osmak try out this year. So you're going to see a feature during the Rogers Cup.
That's perfect.
It's pretty funny. You're getting balls hammered at you, you're running.
What do you think was the worst part of it for you?
Probably standing still, because you have to stand still like this at the back of the court, midpoint, and you might be exhausted, but you can't move.
Can you itch? Like,
no, you can't itch. You can't make any
can't
facial
drink water?
expressions. No.
My God, it's like the soldiers at,
Right?
like with the, what was the best part about being a ball girl?
Probably the night matches, like being on court with a Federer night match. It was pretty awesome. And he'd ask you to get your towel, and then you'd just be in awe.
Like,
and then
Federer,
you realize,
talk to me.
I need to work. Yeah,
Fair enough.
Great.
All right, so this year's Rogers Cup, what are your predictions for the person everybody is kind of watching, Milos Raonic?
Didn't have a great clay court season, didn't have a great grass court season, so hopefully he can turn it around on the hard courts, and I think he can, because that's where his game, it is pretty good, and especially with his new coach, Ivan Ljubicic, trying to play a more aggressive game. I think Milos will do pretty well. I think if he can reach maybe the third round, that'll be quite good for him.
He's got the home court advantage,
That's true.
if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So what about the other Canadian, Bouchard, on the women's side? What do you think she's going to be able to do?
I think this is exciting, because Bouchard, last year, she was still in the juniors, won the Wimbledon junior title, but she was at the Rogers Cup, and then she was even walking around in Toronto, because the women were in Montreal last year. She was walking around the Toronto tournament, and some people kind of recognized her, and the women's game is different than the men's. Sometimes, especially at this point in the women's game, players can kind of just slide in there under the radar.
One of the issues, if you want to call it that, with Rogers Cup is withdrawals sometimes. There's a lot. Maria Sharapova's already withdrawn. Were you surprised by that?
Not completely. It sounds like her injury is worse than I first expected, because yes, a lot of people think there's kind of just this idea that players maybe don't want to come to the Rogers Cup because of the time in the schedule. It seems a lot of people drop out. But so far, I mean, it looks pretty good, because Sharapova's the only one who's dropped out on the women's side. Serena's still going to be here, and on the men's side, it's just Joe Wilfried Tsonga.
Yeah, exactly.
And Nadal arrived in Montreal, Murray arrived in Montreal, so they're there.
Who should we be really keeping an eye on other than, you know, the big names that we talked about?
Well, I think on the women's side, Martina Hingis, because she's come back and played doubles, so I think that'll be fun to watch. She still hasn't said if she will start playing singles again around the U.S. Open, just after the U.S. Open, so there's going to be huge crowds watching her doubles matches, because they're usually on the outside courts of the Rogers Cup in Toronto, so a lot of people will be watching her. And on the men's side, I'd keep an eye on Grigor Dimitrov. He's a young, good player, dating Sharapova. That's what he's also known for.
There you go. So he's probably good looking, too. Anyway, that is all for Rapid Fire. Thanks so much for joining me, Carolyn.
Thank you.
And check back later for what you need to know.